I'm designing a World Cup inspired t-shirt from scratch in Photoshop. No AI generations, no shortcuts, just a blank canvas, references, typography, textures, and the full design process from design to mockup. I want to show you how I go from rough idea to an actual finished graphic, building the concept, choosing the visual direction, making the layout. So let's go ahead and get locked in. We're starting with this image and we're going to go in with our clone stamp tool. Now if you hold Alt/Option, you get this little selector tool which verifies where you're grabbing your source from. It uses the source and then it duplicates that wherever you're applying. Now for my brush settings, I have it hardness at 0, size 87, depending on whatever image you're trying to do it to is. Now this doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be mainly covered up. Now trust me, I know this looks horrific, but you have to trust the process. I'm going to use the magic wand tool because it's a white background. We can just select the background, right click and then select inverse and then use the mask tool to mask that out. Convert that into a smart object. And now I'm just going to implement my logo. Let's grab it from Illustrator. Let's just scale it. It helps that the logo is a circle, but you could really alt your logo to do this anyway. It could be whatever letter you have. Now let's go into the blending options for the logo and we're going to go ahead and change the color. We want a color that stands out against the actual background. And then next we're going to apply a bevel. Now with this bevel, we're going to go into the textures and we're going to turn on the textures panel. From here, there's these 3 options and I want you to select the grass one. We basically just want to make this blend in as much as possible. From here, we're just going to go ahead and add a mask and go in with a brush, hard brush this time, and then just remove the excess. As always, it's black to remove, white to add. That's just how masks work. And you press X on your keyboard to switch between the two. From here, this is looking pretty solid. So I'm just going to go ahead and select both of them, press Command G to group them, convert it into a smart object. And this is going to be sacrilegious, but I'm just going to go ahead and go to filter, camera raw filter, and we just want to blend this in a little bit more. So for the texture, I'm just going to drop this all the way down. Clarity, I bring it up just a little bit so it darkens the color a bit more. And I'm going to go into detail and then I'm going to go ahead and pull up the noise reduction dramatically because the image noise is horrible. Add a little bit of sharpening to counter that effect for the texture. And yeah, press OK. That's looking nice. I didn't like the orientation, so I changed the orientation a bit and I just brought up exposure and the contrast just so it sits a little bit better. And because we're not using AI, we're gonna have to use some stock image. I don't want to go through downloading from this site, so I'm just gonna go ahead and screenshot it. I'm gonna go in with a pen tool and I'm gonna go ahead and cut out this individually. Cutting out stuff is super annoying, but again, we're trying not to use AI for this whole design. So once you got your pen tool closed off, go up to selection and press OK, and then mask it off. And now we're going to basically right click and convert this into a smart object, just so it's easier to move around. And now, because it doesn't fit and it wasn't orientated for this, we can use 2 options. We can use the puppet warp or we can manually warp it. And we're going to go to edit, puppet warp, and then we can add points to the hand. So if we bring this down here, you're basically like moving the hand. Bam, that looks a bit more realistic, but I don't know why this finger looks crazy. Next, we're going to go ahead and add a layer in between those 2 layers. And we're going to go ahead and just go in with a soft brush. I'm going to use a black color. With this black color, you're going to go ahead and add in a fake shadow. It looks a bit harsh now, but we'll adjust it in a moment. You could also add in a shadow to the actual hand. So add a layer on top of the hand, create a clipping mask. Next, we're just going to change the opacity of those 2 layers. So layer 10 on the hand and the layer underneath, we'll just drop it down. And now that looks a little bit more realistic. Again, you can spend a little bit more time playing with this. Now we have essentially the foreground of the design. Let's go ahead and convert this into a smart object. Lovely. And we're just going to place it right here. This is a great image. I'm going to go ahead and add a layer on top of this. And I'm going to go to the selections. If you hold down, you get the elliptical marquee tool. If you hold shift, it creates a perfect circle. Fill in that new layer with any color and then put it on top of the ball and just shape it or scale it until it fits the radius of the ball. Hold command, click your layer, and it will select the layer again. Turn off the new layer we just created and create a mask on the actual ball layer. And that's a quick way of creating a perfect circular mask. We're going to convert this into a smart object and drop it beneath the trophy. I'm going to scale this gonna scale this up. I'm gonna add a mask to this, and we're gonna go ahead and select the artboard and change it to black. Because we're printing on a black t-shirt, it's good to work on an actual artboard that imitates whatever garment you're working on. With this mask, we're gonna go in with a gradient. And now for the gradient, it's just gonna be set to a basic white on black, and it's the transparent one. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a gradient tool, and for the gradient tool, it's just gonna be black onto transparent, and we're gonna create a quick mask, and on that mask we can apply the gradient, and you can see it removes the ball. Now it's good to select your artboard and make sure it's set to black. This allows you to work on the actual garment color and allows you to accurately represent what you're trying to build. Yeah, I think this is a really good image. Let's see if we can adjust the angle. Like if we go to effect and we go to like liquefy, right? And we grab this one here and then we up this size dramatically, or the opposite, squeeze in, trying to create that fisheye effect. But yeah, that's gonna work. There we go. Convert to a smart object. I'm just gonna mask it and convert to a smart object again, just so it's easier to maneuver. Now I'm gonna add a mask, and we're gonna do the same exact thing. Use the gradient to build the initial mask for the actual design. Let's start building up the composite before we start adding type. For this image, main one, we're gonna add a mask to it, and we're gonna go in with a soft brush. You can use the general brushes as well. The thing that does matter is we're gonna have to change the setting into dissolve, because it creates like a halftone pattern, which is easier for your actual printer to work on. So we're going to repeat this step for all the layers, even with the ones with the gradient. Those were just, again, bases for the actual composition, and then we're just going to finish them off with this. And then lastly, the background. The best way to do it for me is to be more aggressive and then add them back in. Let's add in our typefaces. So I'm just going to go world. The first one, I think let's go all caps. So let's go ahead and make that all caps. And then let's go ahead and add cup. I think the font I want to use for cup is, the font we're going to use is BBH Bartel, BBH Sans Bartel. I'm going to go ahead and right click on this and go into blending options. From here, I'm going to go to my styles, and I'm going to use the ATL motion styles, because they're my favorite. I really like this one, and it like resonates with the design already. I'm just gonna tweak it a little bit. So for the stroke, this one, I'm gonna drop this down. And for this stroke as well, I'm gonna drop it down. I'm gonna adjust this drop shadow a bit. Now, if you wanna copy this, go ahead and pause and copy these settings. Don't wanna do that, and you want the whole selection, ATL motion styles on designedbywil.com. Once you do one layer style and you like how it looks, it's just as simple as right click, copy layer style on the layer that you want. Oh, don't delete this layer. Right click, paste layer style right here. I'm gonna drop down the size a bit. So I really like this composition. It's missing a bit of elements. Maybe it's just feeling a little bit empty. So I'm gonna add some football characters in here to, blend it all together. I'm gonna add in all these. I think I'm gonna go with these two. This one I really like. So select everything, right click, select inverse, mask it. Now you have that cut out. Again, I'm trying not to use AI here. So select inverse, and if you press Q, you can adjust your mask for your selection. Perfect. I'm gonna start with this one here. Go back into our working file, paste that in. We're gonna go right here. We're gonna go blending options. We're gonna go and show all effects. We're gonna go color overlay, and we're gonna set this to black. And then we're gonna go in a shadow. Let's go ahead and change this to white, normal. And let's adjust this distance, noise, and let's grab the opacity. I'm gonna drop this in the foreground, and then I'm gonna grab, paste it on here, and then I'm gonna flip it. Same exact thing, but since we already have the layer style, we can go ahead and copy the layer style and paste it on this layer. File. I'm really liking how this is coming along here. It still feels a bit empty down here, so I'm just gonna grab the cup and put it on top. Maybe just put like football. Let's go BB Sans Bartel again. Let's go to styles, and let's use this one here because I really like this. It matches these guys First thing we want to do is select everything and group it. So now we have a group of our design. We can adjust the placement on the actual shirt. I think like a nice little cool tag, actually, we could add a tag that says no AI, made without, let's go make this white. Like those vintage tags that you see on shirts. Ooh, and then we could add our logo there to like make it more official. We're gonna go ahead and duplicate this layer. We're gonna go ahead and convert it into a smart object. And now make sure your colors are the same as this. So black and white here. Then we're gonna go filter gallery. And then from here, we're gonna go to the halftone filter and we zoom out. Oh, it's inverse. So inverse those two. So it's actually correct. So black's on white, perfect. You can adjust this and make this halftone a bit thicker if you really want to. I want a little bit more detail in my halftone, so I'll set it to 4. Perfect. I'm gonna set it to dark in color, and I'm gonna add these two here. So the first one, it's going to be a threshold, and the threshold is gonna be set to dark in color. And again, you can adjust it to make it as black as you want, but yes. And the next one is going to be hue / saturation. And basically I'm just dropping down saturation so the colors are a little bit more quote unquote vintage. Next, we're going to go ahead and add a texture. So I'm just going to use a Texture Labs texture because they're the best. My go-to is usually this paper one because it's like another halftone pattern on top. So I really like how that's looking. We can go ahead and add a few more texture. I might go with another one. So that's just the Texture Labs paper 346 in large, and I have it set to vivid color. I'm looking for my halftone pattern. Yes, this is my favorite texture. You guys have seen me use this texture a bunch. This is Texture Labs Grunge 265 in large. Let's go ahead and orientate this. You see how we added like another layer to the halftone that we have from Photoshop? It like just added a little bit more, and I just set that one to overlay. So the full stack is we have our texture using the filter gallery. We have our Paper Labs texture for the grunge. We have another Texture Labs paper for an actual paper effect. So it's like mainly washing the color. That's why it's set to vivid light. And then we have a hue / saturation to remove some of the color. And then we have a threshold to make a little bit more, you know, darken in the section. This is actually not needed. We could just remove it, but superstition. So I always have one in there. I actually feel like it's missing a little bit of like flair. Like I think we could add some like highlights and flair, you know? So I think I'm gonna turn this one off and I'm gonna add in a layer to group 3, which is our group of everything in there. Right here, flares, finally. Free lens flares in Photoshop. And set this to dissolve. I usually use, like you see how much that just adds to the look. Like it's nothing crazy, but it just makes the design pop. Like if we add one here as well, like it's nothing crazy, but it's just that little oomph. I don't think it's needed there. And then we could add one to this design as well. Fire. Add one to the trophy. Yeah, I think just one there is perfectly fine. Again, that was like that little intuition of having those flares makes the design just blend a lot more. The thing is, we're gonna have to repeat the first step for the textures. So we're gonna have to duplicate this, convert it to a smart object, then go filter gallery. Luckily our settings are saved, so we don't really have to do much. Just get the blend mode. I'm pretty sure it's dark in color. There we go. Lovely. We'll group everything once more, and then we're gonna duplicate this. And then we're going to convert the top one to a smart object. Don't forget to clip everything. Very important. Don't forget to clip everything. Because once you convert it to a smart object, it's going to reform. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and add a mask. And then we're going to go to select, color range. And we're going to go ahead and select the shadows. We're going to up this fuzziness a little bit just so we have a little bit more detail. I don't want the design to become completely dark. And then we're gonna fill it in with black. So grab the paint bucket, fill with black. And now you have a design ready for print, and it's gonna go on a black t-shirt. Now, what I really like for a back graphic, you could just use the halftone that we created. And let's go to blending options and change the color. So if we convert this into a smart object and turn this to white, you could just select color range, shadows, and fill this in with like a white, and have like play on homage to vintage tees where it's like the back graphic is just like the white version, you know? Now for the mock-up, I think this is a great shirt to use as a base. So we're gonna save image, and then we're gonna go ahead and import it. And then we're gonna use the stamp tool once again to remove any of this. Again, you don't need to use AI. It takes like 2 minutes. Let's remove this tag as well using the same thing. Let's go ahead and shape this. Let's grab our design and we can place it on the mock-up. So this is the full design. I think this came out perfect. 10 out of 10 actually. I don't think I have any notes. If I were to make any changes, I think just adding in a little bit more color towards the football text, so it is becoming more readable when you print it. But I really like this made without AI tag, and I think this might be the future for a lot of clothing brands. I hope you guys enjoy that video. Alaya, take care, peace.